What's going on? Boys, thanks to our patrons, and Fiverr customers, subscribe to our Patreon free for behind-the-scenes stuff. Arm yourselves, life stuff. I've tried to make a few videos this last week, and none of them went anywhere. And I think it's because what we're dealing with here is knowing no solution, no salvation, in a way we don't normally know it. The video I went furthest with was this idea of the only thing you can do in this stagnant morale state, in this knowing nothing you do will change anything, at least where it counts, I mean, is to keep your soul. Stay you. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't give in and subservientize. There's a better word or better way to say that. To a grift. And also don't try to force righteousness. If you're not receiving a signal, then don't try to make a signal. That's how you keep your soul, and that's what you should be doing. But that didn't go anywhere. And I think that's because everything you think or try to do is ultimately all about winning or feeling like you're winning. And you aren't. We talked about this last time, and I think that's another reason getting a video made has been difficult, is this video is pretty much the same as the last video, with a few itty-bitty twists and turns. There's no winning. Even if we put together a revolution and changed the entire world, that still wouldn't change the nature of this thing we are presently knowing. This is as naked as you can know it. When righteousness is active, you have objectives. Maybe they won't solve, well, definitely they won't solve anything. Nobody will save you for completing your objectives, but you still have objectives. Even if you don't and will never understand those objectives, it's all about having those objectives, having something to do that you feel you need to be doing. And what you're hearing right now, what you're listening to in this video, this is what's going through the heads of your characters or your units in The Sims or some RTS game when you don't have them selected. This is what they're thinking. This is the vacuum of spirituality. This is the void of divine inspiration. See, normally when we make videos, I make videos about things I'm thinking about. This life stuff, this life progress stuff, mystical progress stuff. But that well dried up a bit. I'm sure it'll come back, but for right now, it's a dry well. So I was thinking, let's focus more on material stuff. I could try to get into a reviewing mode. I sometimes fantasize about having all the money and time in the world. What would I do? Probably fuck around trying to find ancient knowledge shit. It's, again, because it's not going to change anything, but it's still interesting to know. Get into a book review mode, and we have a base of people we could build with, same as we did with MBTI. Or we could begin the propaganda arc. One of the things I've been wanting to do or thinking about in the back of my mind all year is Bagalzi 2026, buy a gun and learn to shoot it. A sentiment I believe in. You should buy a gun and learn to shoot it. Be sick if you did it in the year of 2026. But more of this experimenting with advertising, with influencing in a more active way, in a more organized way, communally, getting people together and seeing what we can do with this. And maybe we'll still do that. There are tons of things on the material side to do, but without that righteousness spark, that direction, there would be no point to it. Digging a hole feels worthwhile when righteousness tells you you should be digging a hole. Conquering the world doesn't mean anything if you don't have that divine direction behind you. And right now, there is divine direction behind or toward nothing. You reach a point you somewhat accept your position as a disposable pawn for powers you don't understand. Both because that's the way it is, and also because you are rewarded with purpose, even if it's frustratingly opaque. But you can't even do that. Now, I'm sure my contract hasn't expired, but we aren't doing shit at the moment. I don't even feel like analyzing goon shit. We aren't even in an attract a woman who will step on you mode. That's shocking to me. But this is all peculiar because it feels like, in some ways, this might be something of a peak. We're in a we're in a position to know what we are unmolested. Because that's the thing, see, this is not a dreadful state. Relatively speaking, at this moment, everything is fine. Now, it's guaranteed not to stay this way, and when shit gets bad again, ugly again, could happen 5 minutes from now, then we'll have something to worry about and try to deal with and torture ourselves with. But even if you're occupied in these moments, it still doesn't change the fact you are able right now to know clearly. You live and die by divine spark alone. Nothing in this world will satisfy you if you haven't been directed to get it or to be satisfied by it. And without divine spark, when you have nothing material or mortal to fuss over, what are you doing? You are existing, and you are reflecting on the fact nothing in life, your mortal life, means anything to you without the divine. There are so many things you could do. There are so many things you're doing. There's so many things you want or have wanted. But nothing is worth doing without the divine at your back. And there's not much to want outside being able to sustain yourself well enough, because nothing is desirable without that divine affirmation in it. And another aspect to this is there's nothing worth knowing unless it's something you are supposed to know right now. I don't care about what's going on in the world. I don't care if you buy a gun and learn to shoot it in 2026. I don't care about where my life is going or where it could go or things I could do to make it go in different directions. I don't care about learning forbidden techniques that would make me a better agent. And there are two reasons to this. One, because as we said, without the divine, none of it means anything. What's the point of being a better agent if you aren't directed to be a better agent? You don't need to be a better agent. But the other side of this is a coloration of existence. It's not just nothing is worth knowing or there's no meaning in the knowing, but also, more importantly, without the divine, there is nothing to know. Up to this point, we've been thinking of the world something like a map. Lots of colors, lots of stuff in the map, lots of places to go. But we say without divine direction, there is no goal or satisfaction in the map. But when you look at it from that direction, you can still make the argument there are still places to go, still things to know. It might not mean anything to you, but it's there. This other way of looking at it, which I think is more correct, is if there is no way in this map, in this mortal plane, to get this righteousness, this divine satisfaction, then really there is nothing in the map. Because the only reason, the only possible reason you could exist is to carry out divine will. That is your purpose. So, when you remove that purpose, actually, there is nothing here. These things are things, or maintain their thingness only insofar as they can act as outlets for you to get your divine energy from. This isn't a big wide world with all kinds of interesting, fascinating shit. You are in an electrical outlet store, and there are tons of different electrical outlets, but there is zero electricity, and the world loses a lot of its shape and color. It's a smear of shit that doesn't matter, and worse, can't matter. People love talking about inventing your own reasons to live or finding satisfaction in your own shit. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because you still believe there is a way you can win, can reach a destination, can achieve an end state. And you can't. Your satisfaction comes entirely from something outside and beyond you. And you know this because you could have your satisfaction from nothing, from the shittiest electrical outlet, if the divine decreed this is your time and this is your way of feeling satisfied. Anything. But if that has gone, then your reason to be also has gone. Therefore, the world, too, has lost its ability to be, because the world was able to be only insofar as it gave you something to be directed to do. So when righteousness recedes, you don't just lose your ability to do in any way that matters. Things that need to be done also cease to exist. This video feels like reflections of your dog when you go to work. It's a stage with no director, no actors, no play, no reason for there to be a play, and no concept of what a stage is, or is supposed to be used for. The only thing you can do is try not to suffer. This will pass, and righteousness will flow back into life, and we will again have our purpose. The world will have its shape and color again. But right now, I don't feel like doing shit. Do you know what I've been doing lately? Aside from working and dealing with people who aren't satisfied with the fact they're getting shit they need or that would help them for free, and who take out their frustrations at administration on you because they think you're administration. I've been playing Vintage Story, modded, and someone made a funny observation. It seems like most Vintage Story players are all late 20s, early 30s, kinda chill, also beaten, feeling a little bit. Did this age cohort all of a sudden realize we wanted the comfort and joy of Minecraft, but Minecraft wasn't doing it anymore? Is that what happened? It feels like that's what happened. And that was another video I've been mulling over in my head. I don't know if I enjoy playing Vintage Story, but there's some reason I'm playing it, and I think it has something to do with learning systems to solve problems. That's what Vintage Story is. It's not... I mean, it is a building game, it is a survival game, but really what you're doing is you are learning complicated systems to solve problems. And that's it. That's the core gameplay loop. It's a puzzle book that looks kind of cute and cottagey, but in fact makes you want to extinct bears. And I've been enjoying the Discord community too, realizing my issues with it. I need to make 2 sections. One section for people I don't mind having access to me, and one section for people I don't want to have a lot of access to me. Maybe we'll redo it and reboot it. But it has been interesting. It has been a nose-trusting exercise, determining people I want to have around me and people I don't want to have around me. I think the key is building a robust, inviting space for the people you don't want to have around you. Not because you want to have them around you, but instead so you can exploit them. It has been interesting watching my insides go communal a little bit now that I have a few people around me I don't mind having around me. Which is an ideal place to be, by the way. Not minding having people around. That is the ideal vibe to feel about people. Because every time when you want people to be around you, that's when shit happens. So in truth, what we need to do is build a ghetto for people I don't want to have around me so we can make them work in the mines or some shit. Have what we have right now, which is a section of people I don't mind having around me because it's nice. It's nice having people around you who, at least according to the nose, presently are on the level. And then, well, this is where the Faustian devil shit comes in. Towing the line, we have to say, keep people you would want to have around you away so they can't have power over you. But goddamn, if it isn't the biggest rush dealing with people you desire, even though that never ends well. But I think we will cut it here. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't.